Music plays, we'd like to invite you to close your eyes, relax, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Sarvada Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamari. 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 Namo Namaha.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that means literally community of truth, but it's a spiritual community. Wherever two or more people on the path of awakening and the flowering of the heart come together to share their journeys, we have a satsang. And we multiply one another's presence and strength by joining together to share our journeys like this. So we're very glad you're here. We share throughout the satsang webcast something we call the flowering heart blessing. A blessing that the divine showed to us about 8 years ago. We've been involved in sharing energy and consciousness transmissions for many years. 8 years ago, the divine showed us this one, said start sharing this. And it goes right to the spiritual heart and awakens the connection between us and the indwelling divine presence. Once that connection happens, really happens, it begins to flower and expand and shine outward from the center of our being, illuminating our spiritual layers, clearing and reordering our mental and emotional layers, healing our physical bodies and bringing about transformation. And so, you're soaking in it right now. And if you would like to, we would invite you to join us in sending the blessing to everyone who's watching tonight and anyone who will watch the recording video of this satsang in the future. For many people, watch these after we've done them. So we hold an intention for all of you. If you're watching this a year after we made it, know that we had you in mind and that divine light and life is flowing to you, because these spiritual blessings, this one which catalyzes awakening and the flowering of the heart, they're spirit. And spirit is not bounded by time or distance in space. It's all here right now, whenever that time comes. So join us, please, in inviting the divine to pour the flowering heart blessing through you. We like to open it at this point for questions.
Communion?
Go ahead.
Oh, we had communion yesterday with the Cosmic Christ, and if you haven't watched it yet, I'd highly recommend it. I know I say that every month, but this one was on the undivided heart, and it brought a lot of clarity to me personally on integrating the different aspects of ourself and bringing that into alignment with the divine. So really worth the watch.
Yeah. So, no other real announcements, I don't think. April Fool's Day. We're going to open it to questions. I see Tristan's already written some, and we'll get to them in a few minutes. I want to give everybody time to just check inside and ask, is there something about the spiritual journey? I mean, philosophy is another thing, but about the spiritual journey that you'd like more clarity, more light about. Meditation, awakening, divine union, previous and future lives, anything along the lines of the spiritual journey that has puzzled you or you'd like more clarity. The divine always inspires Suzanne and me with answers that I think help all of us. So while you ask on the inside, please, if you're watching on Facebook Live, give us a love or a like, a thumbs up or a heart. And we go in at the end, and I go in during the days, during the week between now and next week, and I see who drops in to view the satsang. And we send special hugs and blessings. So please give us a like or a love. If you're watching on Vimeo, then wonderful, but you got to enter something in the chat and tell us who you are and just say hi. And we'll also send you blessings and hugs. So each week I share, most weeks, a list, little articles and lists of quotes that have been compiled by authors that are publishing their works, at least these works, on a website called inspiringquotes.com. And tonight, I'd like to share a little article and a list of quotes about giving back. And this was written, and the quotes compiled by Nicole Villeneuve. Nicole's a writer, thrift store lover, and group chat meme spammer based in Ontario, Canada. So here's what she had to say. Well, if my computer will cooperate, which evidently it won't. Electronics have been very strange lately. Look at that. It won't move. That's okay. Let me. Huh.
If you double tap on it, it'll scroll up.
It will?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be having to do that.
No.
It's opening all this other stuff. There we go. Okay. Most of us have experienced the warmth of a kind gesture from another person. It's a feeling that, when reciprocated, can start a domino effect of generosity. Giving back does more than make us feel good. It can help shape communities and individuals. When people give back, they invest in something bigger than themselves. It's about making a positive impact, starting a chain reaction that not only affects those directly involved, but often inspires others to do the same. And these generous acts can look different for everyone. Volunteering is a common way to show up for your community, as is making donations. Even small gestures, such as helping a neighbor with household tasks, are helpful and meaningful. For the giver, it can also instill a renewed sense of gratitude and humility, reminding us of the privilege of being in a position to help and the responsibility that comes with it. The power of giving back lies not just in the ability to help those in need, but in the way it fosters empathy and connection. It's about a collective effort toward a common good. Here are 14 quotes that help illustrate the power and significance of giving back. There we are. Here we go. It's easier to take than to give. It's nobler to give than to take. The thrill of taking lasts a day. The thrill of giving lasts a lifetime. Joan Marquet. The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Coretta Scott King. I have found that among its other benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver. Maya Angelou. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. Khalil Gibran. I never think about what I want. It's about what you want to give other people. Oprah Winfrey. I think it would have been better said this way. I never think about what I want. It's about what you want to give to other people. The unselfish effort to bring cheer to others will be the beginning of a happier life for ourselves. Helen Keller. Where there is charity and wisdom, there is neither fear nor ignorance. Francis of Assisi. My guy. Come on. I know you can do it. All right. Those who are happiest are those who do the most for others. Booker T. Washington. We ourselves feel that what we're doing is just a drop in the ocean. But if that drop was not in the ocean, I think the ocean would be less because of that missing drop. Mother Teresa. No one is useless in this world who lightens the burden of it to anyone else. Charles Dickens. If you knew what I know about the power of giving, you would not let a single meal pass without sharing it in some way. Buddha. We are not put on this earth for ourselves, but are placed here for each other. If you are there always for others, then in time of need, someone will be there for you. Jeff Warner. The importance of doing activist work is precisely because it allows you to give back and to consider yourself not as a single individual, but to be a part of an ongoing historical movement. Angela Davis. You can always, always give something, even if it's only kindness. Anne Frank. Yeah, ripple effect.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, well, yeah.
Nice.
All right. So, before we dive into the questions, I'm going to just share.
Okay.
Thank you for being here tonight. It's really good to be here with you. This has been a difficult day. I went to check on my sister this morning, who lives 10 minutes away from us, and she had passed away. And Kathy is the last member of my immediate family, my only sibling and the last member of my family. And so that was a shock and a blow. There was no warning. Complete surprise. And so that's what we've been dealing with all day long. And we considered, taking tonight off because, well, but we thought we'd really rather be here with you.
Yeah.
And it's better to give than to grieve over one's own suffering, right? Okay.
We would like to ask too, since it's so fresh, that if you would all please hold her in prayer for a peaceful transition and acclimation to her new form. The first 3 days, or even the first 10 days, can be a transition, quite a transition. So the more of us that hold her in prayer to, invite her into the light, we would really appreciate it.
Indeed, and thank you in advance. So I think that's all about that.
Okay.
Tristan writes, can you tell us about different dimensional travels? Are there such thing as alternative multiverses of our soul? Well, there are alternative realities. I've been hearing that word multiverse, that there are alternative universes. And if one embraces the idea that within the divine are infinite possibilities, then there certainly is the possibility of alternative universes. There definitely are other dimensions. In India, they talk about the lokas, which are these other worlds, but best described as other dimensions, 7 above and 7 below. And in Tibet, they're called bardos. And people in the West often talk about the astral plane and astral travels. There are definitely different dimensions. Again, some people could probably guess what I'm about to say is your challenge is to be here in this one, here and now. Most people are not fully here. They're only partially in their bodies, and even so are only partially human. To be fully human and to be fully present here and now, right here on this planet, is the challenge that faces 8 billion human beings. And it's not easy. So yes, you can travel to other dimensions and astral travel, but mostly people do that as an escape. Because why do that? I mean, we've been sent here and incarnated here because we have karma to finish and or dharma, a path, a God calling that we have come into this world to fulfill to help the collective. So it used to fascinate me when I was much younger, and I've experienced a number of other dimensional realities and planes of reality, and while it was interesting and I learned some things, it really isn't about fulfilling my dharma for being here on this planet as a light giver. That's what we're here for. We're here for each other. So, you want to add anything to that?
No, that's pretty much what I would have said.
Okay. And Tristan says, why is it easier for some people to transmit healing light? What is the difference between Reiki energies and flowering of the heart energies? Well, okay. It's easier for some people to transmit healing light because they're called to do that. And not everyone is evolved to the point of being actually called by the divine to be doing it. Another way of looking at it is that there are obstacles to the free flowing of divine energy and consciousness and light through many, if not most, human vessels. And to become a transmitter of healing light means to usually to do significant work on yourself in preparation. Also, it's usually a divine calling, and it's part of your life's purpose. You want to address anything about the difference between Reiki and flowering heart blessing?
Well, Reiki is a system that came from the divine, and it does help with healing on multiple levels, but it's mostly centered on sending extra energy and light into specific areas in your body through a specific series of postures and placement of hands. And flowering heart blessing, its intention is for awakening the heart to divine union. It's for increasing the connection to the divine presence. It does have side effects of healing and healing of relationships, but its primary focus is for divine union and healing of all levels of our being.
And I'd just add to that illumination. Because it opens the door for us to know the divine and to know our true selves and to break through the illusion of the divided self, of the separate self, the false self that experiences duality and separation from others, from source. The flowering heart blessing begins immediately to dissolve that illusory veil of separation from each other, from our true selves, from God. And certainly a part of that, a big part of that, ultimately in a word, is divine union. The side effects are multiple and wonderful. And that's really what all human beings are destined for and are invited to, is divine union. All human beings have the ability to move into a state of divine union that is pervasive and stable and continuous. And the flowering heart blessing is a great adjunct for that. Now, I know people, Suzanne and I are both Reiki masters, who through Reiki have had experiences of the light, but that wasn't primarily the intention that was being held behind the attunements.
It's kind of like if you wanted a Reiki session, you wouldn't go to a dentist. and if you wanted to deepen your spiritual path, you wouldn't go to a car wash. Well, I guess you could there, but just that each thing has its own specific quality, and you would use whatever tools you would need to for whatever you were requesting in that moment. Don't know if that was a very good example, but that's what popped in.
So a lot of energy transmissions are intended for physical and emotional and mental healing. Healing of the body, soul. So there's that. That's energy. And energy and spirit are close. But out of pure consciousness is spirit. And it isn't frequency. It isn't positive, negative, up, down, like electrical frequency is this alternation of positive and negative. And it is affected by time and space. Energy traveling through the universe takes time. Light moves really fast, but it still takes time. But spirit, it is instantly where it is directed. It's there already. And there's no distance and there's no time, zero time. So the Flowering Heart Blessing is a transmission of awakened spirit consciousness. And so many other, and we work with other energies and energy transmissions and, have different purposes, just like Suzanne said, So Michael writes, I felt a split in my heart during a chiropractic session. And I feel a line through my heart. Could something energetically have been released or change? What do you think it could be? I have no idea. I've shared with you my story of being in deep contemplative prayer and like I was struck by a cosmic lightning bolt that split me in two. And then I learned about a parable from Thomas Keating, like he saw right through me, about how God empties the heart, empties the center, so that we can be free, open vessels for grace and light to flow through to the world. And then, yesterday we were talking about the united heart, the undivided heart. And so perhaps you were being shown some sense metaphorically of where there may be some dividedness within your own heart. And that's like, it's very simple. It's like part of us wants to go the distance, part of us wants to run and hide. Part of us believes, and part of us is doubtful and afraid. And sometimes to overcome that, and so that our hearts can be united in the light, we have to see that division. But I don't know. I have no idea because I'm not you. But those are intuitive possibilities because you've been exposed to both of these stories and teachings just recently. And then it could be something organic, and I should just shut up because I'm not a doctor and I am not diagnosing anybody.
And I think too, we have these experiences and our minds tend to want to put a framework around it or an understanding of it. I would be more inclined to just see how I feel after the experience and see what maybe perceptions have changed or feelings have changed, and work on integrating that instead of needing to know, more or less of a definition or an explanation of the experience that you had. Because then you'll be able to go deeper instead of placing it in a category of this happened and that's why, or maybe that's why. It'll be, how can this grow and how can this open even more?
Alrighty, here's another astral question from Tristan. You've spoken about astral beings before, and some being trippy, odd, and strange. Can you give me examples of deep space and time beings? Well, I could, but I'm here to assist your spiritual journey, your transformation, and journey into oneness and divine union. And I don't see how that could possibly help. Except open the door in your dream world and in your meditations to beings that you might not want to connect with. I mean, the astral planes are filled with all kinds of conscious entities that do not live on planet Earth in the physical dimension. And what do they, again, where I started, what do they have to do with being here now, being fully human and fulfilling our life's purpose? I mean, we know they're ETs, extraterrestrials that people have seen. I've seen them over the years, and some people have been abducted and really harassed by them, particularly the little grays. And everybody's heard about the little grays, skinny little bodies, big egg heads, these big black eyes, I would say from where I'm sitting, from my experience and perception, they're quite real. And you don't want anything to do with them. They are not here to help you. And then there are others that are more humanoid and shining and bright, and some of them say they want to help us here, but that's not really their purpose either. So
I can understand the fascination with these questions.
Sure.
When I was early in my spiritual journey, and when your eyes start to open to reality that's bigger than what we were programmed or grew up with thinking, or how things are supposed to work, when our eyes are open to other possibilities and other dimensions and astral planes and psychics and psychic abilities and supernatural perceptions, and that can all be really, really fun because you get excited because it's out of your will work of how you're used to having your life. But as we grow a little bit more in maturity with our spiritual path, we realize that all of that stuff, it's kind of like you go to a carnival and you eat cotton candy and candied apples and junk food, but you don't want to feed on that every day. It may have been fun to have that experience, but if you went every single day, you wouldn't be nurtured, or you wouldn't be getting the quality of things that you need in your life to sustain happiness and peace. So what we're trying to do here in this framework is give you soul food to help sustain you on your spiritual journey and to get through your daily life in a way that there's a perception of deepening with the divine presence and having more consciousness of ourselves and those around us in a more loving and compassionate way, and growing in a way where we're not being loving and compassionate or coming from fear of the mind or the ego, that we can learn to support and assist each other in growing into that space, into a more deep, meaningful way, like Michael said, to be fully human. So those are fun questions, but you can also probably Google them on the internet, and there's lots of books and stuff like that.
They're willing
out
to
there.
feed that curiosity. Let me say that as I've been a meditation teacher in this lifetime for over 50 years. And the instructions I received in the beginning of my training, leading to my realization, and the instructions I give my students are, keep your eye fixed on the light. Ignore all the temptation to explore these other planes and worlds. Just let it go and go straight for the light. That's pretty good advice. You could spend lifetimes exploring astral dimensions and worlds, and I guess what's your real purpose? And our purpose is to be liberated. Our purpose is to be one with the light. So, once you've made it and you are illuminated, if there's some reason for you to do something on any of these other planes, or then fine. But otherwise, it just slows down the trip, and it poses I don't want to say dangerous because I don't want people to be afraid, but the danger of becoming distracted and waylaid for like years and years and years and years, only to discover that had nothing to do with the flight home to the light, to oneness with the divine source. So, just saying. Somebody asked my master when we were just quite young adolescents in training, and, "Can you teach me to astral travel, master?" And he said, "No, you're not ready." And that was great advice, because we were watching people back in the 60s and early 70s getting really spaced out and not getting clear, getting really jumbled. And the Taoist training is first to become centered and circled in a circle of energy, so that if you did happen to travel out of this dimension, you would be shielded, free, cannot be invaded. And but anyway, it turned out to not be important. But I get the fascination too. I mean, I've studied a lot of this stuff. And I've experienced probably as much or more than I've studied. All right. More says, "So sorry, Michael." Thank you. Michael, Christopher, I'm so sorry. Hugs and prayers for you. Yeah, I'm sorry for me too, and thank you for that. We need prayer. I mean, this has been rough. But especially for my sister's soul. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like she's the one we're sad, but she's the one we're really concerned to help.
We'll be more at peace when we know that she's more at peace.
Yeah.
They said the first few days it can be very disorienting, and
it isn't always.
Not always.
I don't want people to be afraid. I mean, dying is.
I said it can be.
Yeah, I know. But dying is a beautiful thing. You know, I've been with a number of people over the years when they died, and it's just it can be lovely, actually.
I think this was just really sudden, and so it might take a minute to kind of compute what happened.
Yeah. And, sometimes if people die in an automobile accident or a sudden, unanticipated death where they weren't prepared, they didn't know what was coming, it can be confused at first, and not actually know that they're dead. In India, they taught us that one of the reasons for memorial funeral services, not just for the family, but is to help the soul have closure. I go, okay, now I can let go and move on. So, Joanne said, "So sorry for your loss, rest in peace." More, thank you for being with us tonight. We'll be praying, thank you. Ernie said, "My sincere condolence." Thank you. Thank you, dear friend Ernesto. Jennifer said, "We will certainly hold your sister-in-law, in prayer during this transition time, and it's also okay to grieve." Yeah. "Take time for yourself as well as all you're giving to others. A traditional employer would give you time off." Yeah. But when...
Okay, God, how many days do we get?
Yeah. And Katerina said, "I'm sorry too." And More said, "I don't want to meet them." And I'm sorry. I'm sure that's the little grays and the astral weirdos. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Also say prayers for her cat. She has a cat, and our last cat passed away about 10 days ago. And I said I was definitely done with pets, no more pets unless there were special circumstances. So we adopted her a cat today, and he's still trying to get adjusted. So little prayers for her kitty would be great too.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll acclimate very, very quickly, but this is a very different place than he's used to.
Yeah.
Very sweet cat.
I'm sure once he acclimates, he's going to find this place is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is a great spiritual temple here. And he could have landed in a worse spot, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay, well, I think, yeah, okay. So, we're not going to go too long tonight. I'm sure you understand. But glad we could be here with you. It's making the day a little bit easier. So please close your eyes and invoke the Divine Presence. The Divine in all of its fullness dwells within you at the center of your being. This Divine Presence is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all unconditional love for you just as you are. It wants to illuminate you, to liberate you, to restructure your feelings and your thoughts in oneness with the Divine, to heal your physical body, to pour transformation into your spirit, soul, and body, to shine that out into your relationships, to heal them and set them right, to make you a light in the world. The Divine knows exactly how to do that, exactly what you need, and how to get it across to you. So, just receive. Soak it up, breathe it in, drink deeply. Let us imagine that we're sitting in a blessing circle together with our eyes closed. Lift up your hands facing forward with your palms open, and let us invite the Divine, all of us, to pour the grace of the flowering heart blessing through us to all the others in the circle as it flows back to us through them. place in the middle of the circle any difficult problems, circumstances that you're facing, no matter how impossible it may seem. Especially tonight, if you have loved ones or friends who have made their transition, and you'd like to offer prayer to assist them in their journey to the light, put them in the middle of the circle. I put my sister, Catherine, in the middle of our prayer and blessing circle tonight. To all of these loved ones, we remind them, we say, your work is finished. You can relax now. We've got this under control, as much as anything is. But we've got it from here. It's time for you to just relax and let go and look up and move toward the light. And we invite the light beings, the angels, the devas, to assist and uplift these beautiful dear souls, to help them let go of any unfinished business or attachments they may still feel, to just gently release them and relax into the light of the divine presence. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now you can rest your hands in your lap. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me. Keep gazing at least one of our eyes all the time as the light meditation begins. In this meditation, Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans of light, love, grace. It shines through every fiber of our being, but especially through our eyes, the doorways of the soul. It shines out of our eyes, in through your eyes, into your spiritual heart of hearts, causing the flames of divine love, the light of awakening, to shine brighter and brighter and brighter. Just keep looking and receive. There's nothing else to do. Close your eyes. Meditate for a few more moments with us as the grace settles within. Now you could keep meditating as long as it feels good to you, or you could find a place to lie down in Shavasana, the yoga pose where you just lie comfortably on your back with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides with your palms opened, and just let yourself dissolve in the presence and gratitude.
We love you very much.
We do so much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
And until we see you again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine in you. And we bow to you.
Namaste.
Namaste.